Hey everybody, welcome back to White Pine Homestead. Today we're going to do a little tour of my everyday pantry, which we have to go through that door, which happens to be Lane's room, to get to the pantry. I don't know if that's the wisest choice, because when he's a teenager, is that going to be an issue? I don't know. I always wonder. All right, that's what we're going to do today. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to White Pine Homestead, everyone. If you are new to our channel, we are trying to document our journey on our path to being more self-sufficient and building our homestead. And things are going a little slower than planned, but we are documenting them anyways and showing our frugal tips and things that we do inside and outside of the house to just get along each day and do things for our everyday life. Today, I'm going to go ahead and show you the pantry that I use out of my kitchen. And yeah, well, like I said, it's through Lane's door. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you guys how we go in there. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you something before we go look at the pantry. I wanted to say that I had this huge blessing that happened to me this week. It just really warmed my heart and I just appreciate it so much. A good friend of mine had watched the previous video I had made, and I talked about how the potatoes had gotten really eaten up, and I was just disappointed in that and just kind of giggling it off. And I think she knew that, oh man, Helen's a little bummed about that and she's not going to get some potatoes. And she showed up at my house. I'm going to flip a picture up here with 100 pounds of potatoes and 50 pounds of onions. And I feel extremely blessed and just grateful for that. So thank you, my dear friend. I know you're going to watch this video, and I really appreciate you in so many ways. I just wanted to do that little shout out. She knows who she is. All right, now we'll flip the camera around. Okay, so here we go. Just going into Lane's room. So Lane's room is off of our living room, and then we have this door that matches his and the other doors in our house. And this just used to have an accordion door on it, but we had a friend of ours build an insulated door last year, so this has that blue insulation inside it. So yeah, we love that. And I believe once upon a time this may have been a normal closet, but it was already set up as a pantry when we moved in here, which I absolutely love it. And it's not too far away from my kitchen. And what I want to show you that's kind of interesting about it is that it's literally above the staircase. So this is the ceiling when we walk down the staircase right here. And so all of these shelves were here and these ones across the end, but all these on this side, my dad built for me when he was here a couple years ago, and he's coming again soon. He hasn't been down and seen the kids in a few years because of the whole lockdown situation there for a while. So we'll go over some things in here, or we'll just do it as we're talking. But just to kind of give you an idea of what I have in there, that whole top row, not the whole, I'm sorry, but half of it is all bone broth, and then green beans and canned meat and stew that I've already made. You can see we have some grains up there. This second shelf right here has my pre-made meals on it that I did in a video, the last video I made. And if you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and put that up in the iCard. And then grits and chili verde, and obviously we still buy canned vegetables as well. And this is my organization for that. So, and then down below here, we have where I put, oh, well, apparently there's a duster there. I'm going to guess that was Ruth Mary, so we'll get that out of there here in just a minute. But potatoes and onions and garlic and things like that would often be stored in here. I don't currently have that much in here. And then I have this thing right here, which I just think is really handy, and I've seen it used for lots of different things, but it's a shoe holder. And so all our little packets of things just makes it kind of simpler to organize it, and those don't just get lost in the shuffle. So when you go up these stairs, and the lighting is a little darker here in the back, when you go up these stairs, especially when I was pregnant, you can really just go up and back out. You cannot turn a lot. You can turn and get what you need, and then that's about it. So, and we have our peaches, and I think we have apricots, and we've got pickles, and oh, lots and lots and lots of stuff. We have, these are our canned French fries. We did canned French fries last year, which is kind of neat because they're already soft. So you can just bread them and either bake them or fry them, whatever you prefer. And they're nice and soft inside like other French fries. Yeah, I love them. And then we have pear sauce and more bone broth and more dehydrated things. And this is chutney. I didn't make this chutney. That was gifted to me by my mother-in-law. And yeah, jams and canned squash, and I mean just a lot of everything, guys. We've got some canned beans up there, which I'm gonna get out of doing because I have a lot of bulk beans and I can can my own. And seasonings and rice and black beans and garbanzo beans. I do have a ton of seasonings in here. Now this is my primary, like I said, this is my primary pantry. But I do definitely store food in other areas of my house. I just recently gave Ruth Mary the top of her closet back because I had taken that over. Yeah. So I'm going to turn this camera around and chat with you about my thoughts on what our home pantries are all about. Okay, so you can see there's just not a ton of room here. My shoulders are bumping into the sides here, and it's not, super spacious in here, but I can fit a ton of food in here. So I have been doing this for a really long time. I mostly started, let me go back a few years to my childhood. My father, I remember him buying things by the case. I regularly remember that, and the whole purpose for that was it cost less. You could get a discount if you bought things by the case, special ordered them through the grocery store where I grew up in Alaska. And so that always just kind of stuck with me. And so when I had left Alaska for a period of time and I lived down in Florida, I kind of got away from that because the grocery stores were right around the corner and there were just things, I guess go get what I wanted. And I was single income and just kind of living paycheck to paycheck at that point in my life. But later on when I got married, I realized that, hey, I have more than just me to take care of in the kitchen, and we lived in a more remote area of Juneau than where my husband had lived, and I started buying things in bulk and keeping them in food grade buckets. So I just have like a 5-gallon bucket with each of the things that I use, like oatmeal and rice and beans, and just the bulk things like that, sugar, things like that. So I just started shopping that way, and I would order things by the case through Azure Standard up there. I still do that here in Washington where we live now, and it's really just become a habit. But I was really not doing it for any other purpose than money. Like, it was cheaper to buy food that way, and I saved so much money doing that, and I already enjoyed cooking from scratch. So you will find a few boxed items in my home. I occasionally use them. I like to buy the kids Annie's macaroni and cheese. Can I make macaroni and cheese from scratch? Yes, I can. But sometimes it's just nice to have something simple. Although I have recently started buying powdered cheese that it doesn't have the dyes and stuff in it. And so I could actually create my own macaroni and cheeses and put them in jars, and I'm probably going to start doing that because it's just less ingredients and I know more of what my kids are being fed. So although the Annie's mac and cheeses are good, so I'm not knocking them, but once again, more frugal. I can spend a lot less money if I create it myself in its jar versus paying for someone else's packaging. So anyways, my husband lost his job about 7 years ago, and that's when I realized what a blessing trying to save money on my groceries was because our paycheck changed. Well, first he was just out of work for a while. And then when he did go back to work, where he went back to work was a substantially different level of pay. He only did that for a short time. We realized that was not going to work, and he started looking elsewhere. And so thankfully he found a better opportunity. But during that period of time, it was really an eye-opener for my husband, because I'm not sure he didn't think I was a little crazy when I bought food that way, because he had came from a town or city actually, that the grocery stores were right down there, and they had everything, and they had Fred Meyer's and Walmart, and you didn't have to worry about things. So, but I was in charge of the food budget. So I remember another time when he went, after we moved down here, we went to Costco, and I loaded up, right, because we'd moved and I needed to restock our pantries, and he was like, oh, good grief, what's that going to cost? And when the amount came, I was ecstatically happy, because it was just so much less expensive down here, what we call the lower 48s when you're from Alaska, in Washington State, than it had been living up there. And yeah, probably $400 cheaper in my cart to get the amount of groceries that I packed. But he had thought it was expensive, and I said, see, you have no idea how much groceries cost. And he really doesn't, because he's not in charge of that. He leaves that to me. So anyways, I feel that it's very, very, very important to keep a stocked pantry, because you never know the emergencies or things that are going to happen. So like I said, we had that time where he lost his job. And then of course there was the lockdowns last year, and who knows what's going to happen this year. I am not trying to see into the future on any of that. I just believe it's wise to be prepared. So when all that happened last year, once again, it was no big deal to our family, because we keep an ample stock of food in our home so that we can feed our family. So am I saying that you need to become hoarders? Absolutely not. But I do believe that it's wise of us to be good stewards of our family. It is our responsibility, especially those of us that have children, to make sure that they are fed well and healthy. And so I would just encourage you to get a little bit at a time. And I realize weird things are going on. Trucks aren't going as well as they were, is what I'm hearing. Shelves aren't stocked as well. I think it really depends on what area of the country you're in and what's going on. So you might learn to improvise a little more as well, because I think it's wise to just be good with our money and how we're spending it. And if it's not that, learn to just play with your recipes. Learn to throw things together. Learn to make your pantry work for you. And if that's difficult for you, write down the 7 favorite meals of each family member and stock up those items. If you were to rotate those meals over and over again, you would still be comfortable. You wouldn't have food fatigue, and it wouldn't feel strange. Okay, guys, I know it's a short video and the pantry's not gigantic. Like I said, I have it stored in other little places like my kids' closets. And if you think Lane's gonna jump in here and eat the food when he becomes a teenager, let me know. Do I need to padlock the door? I'm hoping not. Okay, I hope this encourages you to go out and get your pantry stocked, but do it in a way that's just wise, and don't just grab junk, and make sure it's food your family will like. And just think about, what do I need if I need a 3-month supply or a 6-month supply, or whatever you feel is best for your family. Okay, everyone, I hope this is giving you some good ideas, and you've kind of gotten a kick out of seeing the things in my pantry. If you have any questions about what you saw as I was twirling around there, just leave a comment. I'd love to answer it. So I hope you guys are doing great. God bless, and we hope to see you in the next video. Bye.